one more move to the downside. I just don't want to rule it out. I have some orders here in this mid-range level, and then exactly at the 200 moving average, price started to ramp up and rally massively to the upside. Guys, it is election day, and today I'm going to show you what's going to happen in the next 24 hours with Bitcoin, depending on who is actually winning the race. And the worst case, I can tell you already, would be if Kamala becomes president. Let's go. Thank you guys for tuning in here once again. Today, like I just mentioned, is election day, and it will be a crazy volatile event for the next 12 to 16 hours approximately, because the first polls with results will come in around 12 to 13 hours. So when I wake up tomorrow, I will see the first polls for, I think Georgia is the first state, and we're gonna expect massive volatility around this crazy event actually. When we look at the DXY, we see here exactly what I was expecting, that we get here further downside in the dollar. I can tell you already, if Kamala wins, initially the dollar will pump back to the upside. That will not happen when Donald Trump wins. When Donald Trump wins, we're going to get continuation to the downside. At least that's what I'm expecting and what I anticipate from a technical perspective. When we are then going into Bitcoin and the election years, I want to give you a perspective what happened pre-election and post-election every single time, regardless who won the election. That is just something that you should keep in mind and have basically some understanding around the Bitcoin price around an election. So every time here in 2016 we had a pre-election run to the upside. In October, I took from here on all the charts from the 1st of October until early November. And then early November, we got a pre-election dump. Then we started to rally to the upside in 2016. Here also the same thing in October here in 2020 when Trump lost against Biden. We got a pre-election run. Then we dumped into the election. Then we started running again. Now here in this election, history repeats most of the time. If not, then it rhymes, as many of you guys are already aware of. So here again in October we got a pre-election run, and then here towards the end of October we started dumping. Now we get here a green candle. That is now really important. Depending on who is winning, we have two different outcomes, and I'm going to show you also exactly how I'm going to trade this in a moment. So here on election night we are getting currently pump to the upside, and that has something to do with actually Trump on poly markets. I should have pulled it up earlier. So here on poly markets, Trump is leading again with 62% against 38% for Kamala Harris. So on poly markets, there were some new bets coming in favoring Trump, big bets actually in the last 8 hours, I think. 8 hours approximately. That was when more bets were coming in and giving him better odds on poly markets in the election outcome. So you have to understand right now the Bitcoin price is heavily tied to a Trump win. So that means when here we are going up in the prediction markets, then also the Bitcoin price is reacting to that and is going to the upside. And that's what we are experiencing here today. So if you would win tomorrow, I expect definitely continuation here to the upside. If Kamala wins, get ready that we will move initially to the downside, and I will give you exact levels that I'm looking at and also levels that I'm currently eyeing with to take trades from in this election move. Now, something else that I want to show you, and what many people have forgotten about, is that historically on the Bitcoin hash ribbons, so that has something to do with miner capitulation and miner profitability. What we can observe here is that the last time when we went here into capitulation in 2022 into 2023, we saw the Bitcoin price also coming massively down here, consolidate, and then when we got the buy signal, we went back to the upside. Now, I want you to have a look here at this big capitulation and this capitulation over here. Do you see the resemblance, especially with here that small capitulation, and over here with that small capitulation. So this capitulation is close to a buy signal. This is super, super close to a buy signal. Also here, into that small capitulation, price gradually came a little bit down, consolidated into the buy signal, got a move to the downside. So here we see something similar happening. Upwards, basically if we count from here, downwards consolidation, then into the buy signal, a dump, then we start to rally to the upside. So now look at what happened afterwards, after we got the buy signal, after that small capitulation down here. Price started to ramp up and rally massively to the upside. That is something that's going to happen regardless of how the election is going to turn out. So we could get short-term a small move here to the downside, again, if Kamala wins. But afterwards, we will continue to rally massively into new all-time highs for Bitcoin. It's inevitable, so because if Kamala wins, I think they're actually going to print more money than what Trump would do. Plus that we have an FOMC meeting coming up in 2 days, which will add, again, more fuel to the fire for Bitcoin to go into higher levels. So, and before I'm going to show you now exactly how I'm going to trade this, I want to make sure that you can trade with me together. And for this reason, you should get a Bybit account and deposit at least $100 so that you can claim your free $500 airdrop position on any of these coins. I will talk about most of these coins here today. So make sure that you sign up with the link in the description below and the pin comment below. Deposit $100, claim the free airdrop voucher, use the voucher, and all the profits that you make out of that position belongs absolutely to you. So you can withdraw them, you can trade them, you can make more money out of them, whatever you want you can do with the profits, but only with the profits. So the $500 are not withdrawable, but the profits are. Now, when we're going into the daily time frame, what I'm looking at is to potentially take a trade from current levels if Trump is winning, but I have placed limit orders just in case that he's not winning and that we get this initial move to the downside. So what do I expect? How low we are actually going here? So there's two scenarios. Either we just come down here into the mid-range to around $65,450, and the worst case is that we come all the way down to the 200 moving average, but you should not forget this will be a spike to the downside, so this will be a massive wick to the downside that gets immediately bought up again. We get a couple hours later continuation. So you need to have limit orders down there. You cannot market that, so, and I would also not try that because you would potentially try to knife catch here a move, so that's why you should have rather limit orders here. So the other move is at $63,450. So this is a $2,000 range here if we come down, and I have some orders here in this mid-range level and then exactly at the 200 moving average. There I have the money split across, and that's what I just have in case that it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm expecting this to happen. But if Trump wins, then you can immediately expect here a pump in direction of we're basically gonna break $70,000 more or less immediately, in my humble opinion. So now on the bull trend ribbon here, on the super trend, here we are currently sitting slightly above it, which again is inherently bullish, but the ribbon has flipped now neutral. So if you zoom in here a little bit, you see it's kind of still greenish, but it's about to turn gray, which is kind of okay. We just don't want this to flip red. Red would be only happen if we lose here the ribbon at the lower end at $67,000 approximately and close a candle below, and then basically continue to go much lower. So currently we are still holding slightly above it. So what we want to see for today, at least for today, is a close above it, and hopefully continuation tomorrow to the upside. So again, depending on the election outcome, we should expect massive volatility. If you are an unexperienced trader, here's the best advice that I can give you. Do nothing. Don't open any trades. Sit on the side, wait it out until the craziness is over, and then get into trades. Unless you want to trade on spot. On spot, it doesn't really matter, but on leverage, if you're not experienced, be sidelined. Trust me, sometimes no trade is the better trade. So, but for everybody else, here, one key indicator when Trump is winning is for me to enter a trade at $69,000 when we are breaking here that resistance level, reclaiming it, and continue to move here to the upside. From a technical perspective, the indicators are all in alignment, as you can see here, over here, and also here that uptick for continuation to the upside. Again, it doesn't mean that we are going to get this here, depending on the outcome, because this is a news event, but from a technical perspective, we should get continuation here to the upside, especially while we bounced off here that key area on the VPVR from $67,000. On the lower time frames here, again on the 50 minutes chart, you see here also currently consolidation below resistance at $69,000. Here also everything looks like that we are ready to move at least back into this resistance today. We tested it today multiple times here already, roughly 2 times. It was also today. No, that was yesterday. So here 2 times today. We might get another retest. We potentially even break it from what the indicators are showing in terms of the momentum. And then we need to see if we can flip this into support and get straight away continuation into the election result. Most likely that's what's going to happen, in my opinion, into the final result. When the election gets certified. Until the election gets certified, I expect the markets to rally more or less. And after the certification, we need to see if we get continuation or not. Looking at the 4-hourly chart with the MDX Algo Scalp Gradient, here you also see price is still continuously getting hotter here again. Out of a blue phase, we start to get into the darker blue phase, into purple phase, then we run hot again. Also here you see we have now 2 bullish divergences on the reactor indicator, which are usually an indication for that we have bottomed out. So $66,830 was potentially the low here. One more move to the downside. I just don't want to rule it out depending on what's happening later. And I'm gonna stop to talk about it now because I start to sound like a broken record. I rather focus technicals, But the technicals are telling us that if we get here potentially another retest at $69,250, that we are breaking above the small downtrend that we have here established, flip this trend back into the green, and then price will also start to run into hotter phases, and we get continuation to the upside. My Bitcoin trade on ZoomX is still running, so it looks a little bit better yesterday. Yesterday it was like, I don't know, $55,000, $60,000, $60,000 almost. Here running in the minus, so I regained $10,000. I'm still in a loss, but again, willing to send more money later. Actually, after I finish this video, I send more money here, just in case that we come down to my liquidation price. To protect my position and to add more to my position around the liquidation price, so that I add more here, just if we actually come down here, dollar cost average my position down, to hold this into the target that I actually have of $89,000. So now my profit would be $375,000 if I win this trade. Now, when I add more money to it, it should be around $500,000 that I'm gonna make on this specific trade here. I'm gonna give later in this video again $500 away, so definitely make sure that you stick around here. If you want to stand a chance to win $500 on ZoomX, guys, also really easy. Sign up with the link in the description below. Deposit $100, open one single trade, in and out, even with $1, doesn't matter, and you qualify for the $500 giveaway. So also make use of that. Also here, you can only trade with the $500, you cannot withdraw them, but you can use them on any currency that is available on ZoomX. When we're going into the liquidation levels, here we're still missing that short squeeze to the upside into the $71,000 range here, as you can see up here, with the over-leveraged positions, the 50 and 100x positions that are sitting here. The EMA ribbon also still needs to be reclaimed. Also here, you see right now why the $69,000 level is so important, because there is currently also the resistance sitting from the EMA ribbon, the upper band. Once we are breaking above this, flipping this back into an uptrend, it will remain into an uptrend in a really long and extensive period. When we're going then into the liquidation heat map, and here you also see exactly what I said yesterday. Once we're tapping into the $69,200 level and breaking that resistance, this will lead to a short squeeze here around the $70,000 mark, potentially even continuation into higher levels. Let's go into a weekly chart. Yeah, so here you see most likely into $70,500. There I would expect some resistance, a slight pullback with some consolidation before we start then moving in a direction of $72,000 and then all the way up here into $73,600 and $74,000 and starting to break into a new all-time high. I still believe a new all-time high is possible this month. I would say give it another 2-3 weeks max, then we should be sitting at a new all-time high. What do we have here? Funding rates, no, not important today. So here the Bitcoin dominance is still sitting above the upward sloping trend line here of the rising wedge. Here it doesn't really matter what's going to happen here with Bitcoin in the next coming hours. I definitely expect if Bitcoin dumps that the dominance is breaking out to the upside, and if Bitcoin breaks up, then also we get a pump to the upside. And again, I know that you have heard it here now many times, but I say it again, this last push here to the upside for the dominance will be the final push. This is the final push, guys. Then on the total free market cap, the total free market cap is bouncing back from the $588 billion level, trying to break back into the ascending triangle. So remember what I said. I said to you guys, this here is just a deviation. Once we are coming back, actually, you know what? Let me make this here, because there's two ways how you can look at this. So you can say, hey, this is the line for the ascending triangle, and we had here already a deviation, and here we have now one. Or you could do something like this. Depends how you want to see this. So, and then you have a little bit less touches, but we basically just bounced off this line, of this upwards trending line, and you have still here that wick to the downside that is still a small deviation. But regardless, as long as we are staying within that ascending triangle, I expect here a move back into the resistance of $644 billion with continuation, the breakout to the upside. Now on Ethereum, remember when I told you $2,400 is a good level to long? I was not wrong about this. We went 2% lower than that. But if you had, like I also said, not a crazy high leverage position that you wanted to open there, you are fine right now. You are a little bit in the money. You are almost 2% up right now. Here, really important that we close today above the upward sloping support line, because also the indicators are telling us a clear story that we are ready to at least move back into the EMA ribbon here at $2,530. That would be another 3% move roughly. And if we go to the top of the EMA ribbon, it would be a 4% move. So here to the top of the EMA ribbon, I'm not expecting immediately a move here above the EMA ribbon with a reclaim and continuation to the upside. Rather that we break above this, consolidate a little bit, and then break back here into $2,600 and $2,700. The reasons for that are, first of all, here the VPVR will give us resistance when we break into $2,650. We have this downward sloping resistance line, and we have this horizontal resistance level. So here's a lot of resistance for Ethereum to break at $2,600. But once we are finally doing that, we are going to get our moonshot in direction of $3,000. So now when we're going into Solana is trying to reclaim the EMA ribbon here. We are moving into the mid section, which is really important to reclaim for continuation. If we get here a 4-hourly close and even just consolidate, that would be absolutely fine. Then I expect also here reclaim in the following hours shortly afterwards, in the next, let it be, I don't know, 12, 16 hours, where we are going to reclaim this. Here, currently, it would be a good moment to enter, but definitely have a stop loss on this position. Like I said, depending on the outcome of the election, if we turn around, you want to minimize your losses, so you should have here a tight stop loss. I will show it to you here once again. The stop loss is at $159 approximately. If you enter now, that's like a 3% move to the downside. So don't use like crazy leverage. Use like 5 to 10x maximum. But the upside is also substantial here, $203. Once we're getting here that proper move to the upside, because on the higher time frames we have also completely bottomed out here. As you can see, we broke this downward sloping resistance line. We are retesting the top of the EMA ribbon on the daily chart, which is also bullish. So as long as we are not seeing here a massive pullback to like $160 into the EMA ribbon below the midsection, we should be fine for continuation in the next couple of days. Doge is literally flying right now. Look at this, guys. Remember when I said buy here in that section if you can. So that was the entry, guys. That was the best entry that I could give. You had here a second chance that I also mentioned multiple times with the reclaim of the 50 moving average. If you're not in a Doge position right now, I cannot help you guys. So you had every chance possible. I mentioned it so many times, and now we are off to the races. So that is something that I would not enter anymore currently, unless we are breaking 17 cents point free, because here's some resistance. As you can see here, actually down here, come on. So here you can see it. That is the resistance that we need to break. If that resistance gets broken, I would potentially be inclined to open here a small position. But be aware that on the 4-hourly chart, we are already heavily overbought on a stochastic. The RSI is soon in overbought territory, and only the MACD is still flying. So here, be a little bit careful. So the current price action can turn really quick into a reversal pattern here, with potentially forming an evening star pattern where the next candle goes to the downside, and then we get maybe continuation, so that the stochastic and the RSI together can cool down, coming back into here the 16 cent level before we get then the final bounce and move in the direction of 20 cents. So but currently I'm massively up on my position, as I pointed out already yesterday. Sui also broke this downward sloping trend line. This is still good to enter, in my opinion. Just be aware that we are here below massive supply zones. Here a spike into the golden ratio, the extended Fibonacci extension level is, in my opinion, definitely possible, because that was a really nasty wick, and these wicks usually get filled sooner rather than later, actually. So here I would use the 50 moving average as an indicator to hold my position or not. If we fall back below this trend line here at $1.88, there I would cut the trade. So that is a 4% move to the downside, roughly, I think. How much is this from the current price action? 3.2%. 3.2%. That's what I would use as a stop loss. And the first take profit point should be here at $2.10 into that golden ratio here. The indicators here, at least the stochastic, starts also to be a little bit overextended. On the MACD, we still have some room here on the 4-hourly chart, and also on the RSI on the higher time frames. There we are absolutely fine. So we are about to get a buy signal on a stochastic with continuation. The MACD is about to print a buy signal, and also the RSI is bullish. So if you are here to add on spot, good moment to do so. There's nothing wrong with adding here right now. And also here, you see here at $1.8485, there is currently sitting the 50 moving average. That would be my absolutely hard stop to get out of that position if price turns against us. If you want to trade on a decentralized platform, then you can definitely do that here on AlphaX, guys, with Trust Wallet and MetaMask and any other decentralized wallet you can use here on AlphaX. Here, if you sign up, you will get $100 that you can trade with, guys. So take advantage of that. And also, if you sign up and deposit $100, you stand a chance to win $500 I actually going to do it tomorrow for the election outcome. Let's say if Trump wins, then I'm going to give away the $500 tomorrow. If he loses, I do it on Friday. So that's the deal, guys. That's what we are going to do here. So also there's a link in the description and a pin comment below for that. On Coty, we get really close to my opportunity entry here at $7.05. Here, I'm pretty sure we are not going to get it at the current situation, how it looks like. So I'm going to enter here at the reclaim at 8 cents and 7. So we are like 2% away from this or something. It's not a crazy amount. Okay, 4% away. But still, it's not crazy. So I rather wait here because this is a high time frame trade here. I rather wait 4% than risking that we are breaking 7 cents and 5 and potentially move lower. So I just gonna wait. If we are getting here first to move to $7.05, that 7 cents and 5, that would be fine. But if we are coming up here and then rolling over, I'm not entering here. I wait for the 7 cents and 5 level. So if we are coming up here, bounce, move like this to the upside, then that's where I'm going to enter and use then the 7 cent 0.5 level as my stop loss. So here again, you don't need crazy leverage for a trade like this. Remember, this here is a 50% move to the upside and a 14.4% stop loss. So here I will not trade more than with like 4x, you know, so 4x, 50%, 200% profit, 2x my money. Absolutely fine with me. The indicators all telling the same story, completely reset on the higher time frames and ready to go back to the upside in the next following days. And the next one is Phantom. Phantom dropped a little bit lower than I anticipated, but we bounced off the 200 moving average, which is a healthy sign. Here, currently, I would also not enter a position here. I would wait for a reclaim of 60 cents, which is a 5% move, almost 4.6% move to the upside. Higher time frame trade once again. I want to trade this into 90 cents. So that is a really nice move here into 90 cents. Look at this here. That is a 49% move roughly. So I rather wait that we reclaim that level before I'm going to enter. Unless we are moving one more time back to the 200 moving average, then I will start to open a small position there that I can later add on just in case if we go a little bit lower and I dollar cost average then down, because the indicators are definitely telling here a clear story that we're ready to go back to the upside with a little bit of patience. Then here ICP also tries to break back into the falling wedge here. Also that move down here is, in my opinion, a deviation just to shake people out of their positions. The indicators are also all lining up across the board, guys. It's across the board with all coins. For continuation here, a small red candles on the MACD, buy signal on the stochastic, RSI pointing to the upside. So also here I expect continuation into at least $8.74. If we can break this multi-month downtrend here on ICP, then I expect a really quick move into $10, $11, and here into that supply zone of $12 and $12.50. So that is the trade. The next one is Uniswap. So Uniswap is one of the trades that I would actually enter right now. Remember what I said, if we come down to like $7, that's where I would open a position. So here I would wait for $7.04. We are really close to that currently to enter the position. I would take a little bit of profit at $7.82. Because we have also here this multi-month downward sloping resistance line here once again. And if you don't take profit around this level here, set your stop loss to the 50 moving average. So then at least you get some money when you get, so if it turns against you, and if not, then you have a solid stop loss and can let this ride here to the upside into $11.26. Then AVAX is the next trade here. Also, we hold the upward sloping support line. Currently, we are still below the former support zone. So it was support over here, support over here, support over here. Then we broke it. Now we are retesting it. I want to see a reclaim before I enter here into an AVAX position. So I want to see here the $24 level to be reclaimed to enter. So that is currently a 2% move. If we get it, then that's where I want to enter this. Again, I will take some profit here at $28, at $29.40, and then let us ride into $30 or even $40. Or again, if you want to trade this differently, then I would set a stop loss at $26.20. Once we're getting to $28, that is enough margin between these two levels to make sure that I potentially not get wigged out if we come down a little bit before we break this line and continue to go into higher levels. Again, the indicators are in alignment for continuation with a buy signal on the stochastic. MACD turning bullish, and the RSI is already massively bullish here with this nice stiff uptick here into higher levels. And guys, that's it already for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I hope that Trump wins and we get a massive pump tomorrow.